Sunday. And let's go out to the hotline right now and welcome in my favorite NFL analyst on the NFL Network, and that's Heath Evans. Heath, it's Zach Gelb and Chase Sr. here in Philadelphia. How are you?
Man, I'm good. It's been too long.
It really has been too long, and we appreciate you always coming on, and I'm sure we'll see you in New York for the Super Bowl. But you know me, I'm not too happy after last night's Patriot game. I know you played for the Patriots and won a Super Bowl also with the New Orleans Saints, but I thought that was a clear pass interference call, and the thing that really irritates me the most is that the official didn't even give an explanation after he picked up the flag on the field.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part of our game. It's kind of like a walk-off when we pick up this flag and get the heck up out of here. It's funny, the more I watch it, I'm okay with that flag being picked up. The one I was most frustrated with was the one on Greg Olsen. In the previous drive where Cam drove him down and got him 7 points, Greg kind of has that, what I would call that NBA flop, throws his hands in the air, doesn't even try to fight through contact, and it kind of flops on his back. And I thought that was just a horrendous call. But the one at the end, obviously it changes the landscape of the game drastically. But I think I'm okay with that one.
Now, I know the Patriots aren't the most loquacious team in the NFL, especially after they have to go through some controversy, and I know the players were very quiet in the locker room last night, but let's say if Heath Evans was on the field and in that Patriots locker room after the game, and a reporter asked you your thoughts on that play, would you have opened up your mouth knowing how much Bill Belichick controls the media there?
No, I wouldn't have. I would have stayed in line just like I always did when I was there. I would try to give you guys good quotes when I could, but, the utmost respect for Bill and the way he goes about things. And listen, when you're in the locker room and you're on that team, it does you absolutely no good to whine, complain, to second guess, or to scream and yell. And so Bill knows that, and he even referenced to last night, in his post-game presser, in that Baltimore game when he wanted the explanation about the field goal. He went and put his hands on an official. He knew how that one turned out. So last night he just said, okay, learn from your past mistakes and move on.
Heath Evans of the NFL Network joins Chase Sr. and Zach Gelb on the main event, WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station. Heath, it's Chase Sr. I want to get your take real quick on Trent Williams' comments post-game after the Birds loss and about the official. Said that the official called him a disrespectful MFer, also, a couple other words in there. Did you ever have an experience with a referee similar to that, or have you ever heard a referee kind of curse at a player in that manner?
I've never heard refs curse at players, but I've heard the referees curse and trying to get control of the situation, So with Troy and I have no idea what was said, nor will we probably ever know. Hopefully the league will try to find a way to get to the bottom of it. I don't think there's a place for it. But, who knows? I don't know if Trent said anything to get the official route up or not, So I think a lot of times, players want to be able to speak to an official any way they want, but then they want to be treated with respect when they're spoken back to. So I don't know the particular, full case, but no, in my 10 years in the league, I never saw an official, curse out a player.
Before those 16 unanswered points that the Redskins put on the board against the Eagles, the Redskins just looked out of sync throughout the duration of the ball game. RG3 said later that night that the Eagles basically knew what was coming on the defensive side of the ball. It seems as though there's really a lack of communication between Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, and RG3. Do you see that as well from the outside?
I don't know if you call it communication in the sense between the coaches. I just see an offense that hasn't changed enough.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the Patriots. Look how much their offense changes year to year. They're always kind of setting the bar higher. They're always, I guess, self-scouting in such a way where there are no trends that they need to break. And I just look at an offense that, kind of expected, to do exactly what they did last year and be just as successful. And that's just not this business. Last year I took a lot of crap from people because I was highly critical of this offense. I called it a point-and-shoot offense. I called it, ball in the hands of RG3, ball out. You can't play football this way. You have to step back. You have to read defenses. You have to beat people with scheme. And so it just doesn't fall on RG3's shoulder. It falls on the pass protection. It falls on, Kyle Shanahan, and it falls on the wide receiver coaches getting his guys coached up where they're going to run the right depths route, the right adjustments on pressure. And so there's a lot of things that go into the mix. And, when this offense has been, for the most part of the season, it's been pathetic. They've had hot spots. They've had really good quarters where you're like, wow, this offense is back. They've had even good halves. But, you'll be hard-pressed to find me a game where they didn't have major lulls throughout the course of the game.
Heath Evans joins us from the NFL Network, won a Super Bowl championship with the New Orleans Saints. And Heath, one offense that has made some changes, that's been the Philadelphia Eagles. They bench Michael Vick. They bring in Nick Foles. This team has won 3 in a row. And you look at Nick Foles, he hasn't turned over the football through the air, hasn't thrown a single interception, is riling up a lot of touchdown passes. What has impressed you so far with this new Eagles quarterback?
Well, just that. This is a turnover-driven league, and I think one of you guys as a team, I think you're +5 in the last 3 weeks, +4 or +5, and, you go back even the last couple of years in Philly, this team couldn't help but shoot themselves in the foot. They turn the ball over. They find a way to put up 400-plus yards of offense and have 4 turnovers and lose the game by 8 points, and we've even seen some of that this year, under Chip Kelly. And so, I think you just love the fact that they're holding on to the ball, and then when you hold on to the ball, obviously your points per game will go through the roof. And I think even that margin is about a 12-point difference, from week 1 through 8 through these last 3 weeks. So it's all about ball security, and that starts with your quarterback, and that's where Foles has done a great job. And what was he at 290-plus yards the other day? No touchdowns, but I don't care so much about that as no interceptions. And then when you can run the ball the way that you can and throw the ball around and disperse it the way this offense allows you to, you hold on to the ball, not give it away, you're probably going to win a bunch of ball games.
And one player you really seen emerge as of late for the Eagles and has looked so much better with Nick Foles under center than Michael Vick has been Riley Cooper. Riley had some issues in the offseason with what happened with the whole M-word controversy at the concert, but Riley Cooper's really getting some breakaway speed now, and he's looking like a real big player for the Birds.
Well, I think this offense, creates space for players, not just in the run game where we kind of see it week in and week out, but you see the different ability of each wide receiver accentuated. I think with Riley Cooper, I think this is one area where Chip Kelly needs a lot of praise. He's good at putting guys in position where they can thrive. And, Riley's got a strong I don't even know how to word this. He's got great ability in a few places. He's a big body guy that really knows how to adjust to the ball. I think he moves well in space. I think he understands the defensive concepts. And so I think Chip's done a good job of putting him in positions. And then, Foles gets him the ball, and the rest is history.
Heath, back to Foles real quick. 16 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's also got 2 touchdowns on the ground. His QB rating is best in the NFL right now. I know the sample size is still a little bit small, but has Foles convinced you and some of the other people in the national media that he can be the franchise guy? And if not, what does he have to do to convince people that he can be the Eagles' starting quarterback moving forward?
Well, the starting quarterback, I don't even think it should be a conversation. The 0 interception, that's how you win ball games. I don't care if it was in New England or New Orleans. Brady and Breeze were preached at every single week. Our offense is so good, if you don't turn the ball over, we'll win. And that's normally the case. And so, you love that number, and then the 18 total touchdowns is amazing. So, in the sense of the franchise quarterback for the future, I'll kind of go back to my Washington Redskins statement. There's a lot more that goes into this kid being successful than just Nick. Yeah, he's got to prepare and play well, and he's got to handle his end of the share of the responsibility. But this offense is going to have to continually change, and you'll have kind of the same surprise effect in a lot of things that Chip Kelly is and who he isn't throughout the course of this first season. And then if the Eagles walk off and win this division, or even if they don't, the league will spend 5+, 6+ months, getting a wrap around what is this offense, how does it beat you, and then how do we settle in to beat it. So there's just going to be a lot of growth that's needed for Nick Foles, as well as the offensive playmakers around him, as well as Chip Kelly and his staff.
And the defense led by Billy Davis has to get some credit. After Week 4, when they allowed 52 points to the Denver Broncos, this unit has really improved. They've only allowed at most 21 points. That was to the New York Football Giants. And this defense has really taken some major steps in the last few weeks, Heath.
I think so. And you got guys playing new positions. You got guys, under obviously new coaching styles and schemes, and it takes a while to kind of get your groove. And let's be honest, playing defense this day and age with the offenses and all the rules and everything else, it's very, very difficult. So I think Billy's probably getting guys to finally understand what he's trying to do week in and week out. You just got to find a way to continue to pressure quarterbacks. And I think when you see Trent Cole that went into last week, I think with just one sack, and then he had a good showing last week. But you've got to find ways to pressure and hit quarterbacks, and so that's one area that you want to kind of see this defense continue to make strides in.
Heath, Philly has racked up 3 straight wins. They go into the bye week, then take on the Cardinals in 2 weeks. They sit atop the NFC East at 6-5. How do you see things playing out in this division? It's been weeks so far, up to date, but the Eagles right now are looking like the class of the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean they are, and then you got this freaking nagging Giants team that
no one likes the Giants, Heath.
I know, but then you look at, I think, this is 4 straight games for them as well, and so they're coming into the teeth of their schedule. Tom Coughlin and the boys, you can never write them off, and then you got some games coming up down the stretch that we'll see. I mean, even this Arizona game coming out of the bye, Bruce Arians has found a way very quietly to get to 6-4, and they've got a team out there in Arizona that defensively can frustrate the heck out of you. A lot of speed, a lot of athletes, a defensive line that can get after your quarterback. And then an offense that at any time, Carson Palmer might throw you 2 interceptions, but they might put up 500 yards of offense as well. So we'll see. Philly's just got to keep grinding in this division at this point. Mathematically, you just can't ever say, hey, they're walking away with this. I mean, with teams like Dallas who could beat anybody, and teams like the Giants that you never know when they're going to get hot, we'll just have to see how this one shakes out.
Final one here right before we let Heath Evans run of the NFL Network. And Heath, you mentioned it, the Temple former head coach Bruce Arians, he comes to town in 2 weeks. And then you also have the Detroit Lions led by Megatron come to Philadelphia. And the Eagles have struggled at home, but they just picked up their first home win in a long time. So if this team wants to go out there and make a statement, you have 2 games at home up against 2 good teams in the Cardinals and the Lions. You want to show you the real deal. You go win those 2 football games, and I think you'll have a lot of believers here.
Well, absolutely. Especially you start winning this time of year. One of those games will be in the month of December, which I call it Championship December. I mean, listen, you've got to dominate in December if you're going to get a chance to go make a run in the playoffs. And, you want to be playing your best ball in December. Obviously, there's teams like Baltimore Ravens that refute that opinion of mine. They go on and win the Super Bowl playing like garbage throughout the month of December. But for Philly, 2 good opportunities, and we'll see how things shake out for them.
Well, Heath, we appreciate a few minutes today. It was so fun to hear your voice, and let's talk to you again soon down the road.